You are welcome to another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. Faith Rogers, who featured in the second part of Surviving R. Kelly documentary known as The Reckoning, accused R. Kelly of a number of things, including recording them in the act allegedly without her consent, and knowingly giving her an STD. To be specific, the STD in question here is herpes, which she believes she contracted from R. Kelly, even though she has no medical proof that she was herself free of the disease when she first had an encounter with the R&B King. Irrespective of the fact that she was a fully grown adult of sound mind who had the mental capacity enough to notice she was being filmed and to put a stop to whatever she was doing with R. Kelly, the court still managed to find R. Kelly guilty on counts related to her, and like that her wish of having R. Kelly behind bars while she benefits from restitutions he was made to pay had been granted. The only commendable aspect of Faith Rogers' claims against R. Kelly is the fact that, unlike many other accusers, she did not attempt to backdate her DOB to claim she was underage when she chose to become R. Kelly's mistress. She openly agrees she was 19 years old, and that she was never forced into this relationship she now claims to regret. By being 19, this should have caused the Brooklyn federal judge and her team of jurors to question and interrogate her story, largely because there is no way a 19-year-old can be filmed without consent, and she agrees if she didn't really want it done. In fact, the real truth is that if the two actually did have sexual relations on camera, it must have been an act stemming out of mutual agreement where they both decided to capture the scenes for their own remembrance while in private. This part is, however, left out as expected when she tells her story. Charging R. Kelly for this alleged forceful filming without the woman's consent and subsequently convicting him shows just how detached the Department of Justice is from the society they live in. It is common knowledge that many women actually do voluntarily agree to be filmed, sometimes suggesting the act of fetishism to the men. It's therefore not a guy's thing but a fetish practiced by both genders that if any adult woman came out to say she was forced into a film, she would need to produce proof showing that she resisted but was forced into the act. The DOJ, which has slowly turned into a genie that will grant every woman's wish for as long as it's R. Kelly on the receiving end, did not hesitate to declare R. Kelly guilty, even though there was no evidence to prove that the 19-year-old woman had not consented. Proof of non-consensual relations has always required to prove the use of force, and this is determined by medically examining the body of the alleged victim to identify scar and bruises, all accompanied by DNA testing in a few hours from the time of incident. Someone simply claiming they were forced into something does not necessarily make it true. And at 19, a woman does have the ability to consent unless she claims R. Kelly raped her, which would also be thrown out for lack of evidence. The part where she claims R. Kelly knowingly gave her an STD also doesn't add up because there is no way to determine that she didn't have it before meeting him. Besides, there are some girlfriends of hers who told media that Faith Rogers has always carried herpes with her and was dealing with it way before she even imagined she would ever meet and date R. Kelly. And besides, statistics show that herpes is generally more common in women than in men. So when two partners meet and are later tested for the disease only to find they both have it, there is no logical reason why the judge would imagine it's the man responsible. When handling the case where defendant is R. Kelly, though, all logic is left behind and the judges will grant almost anything demanded by the government. This is very suspicious considering some of these claims don't even deserve to be looked at as crimes. When two adults meet in privacy, they do so many unbelievable things, and filming themselves surely must have been one of those mutually agreed upon events that shouldn't be questioned decades or years later. Meanwhile, her father, who happens to be a pastor that goes by the name Charles Rogers, accompanied her to a CBS TV show where he stated that as parents, they were worried about their daughter's safety even when R. Kelly was in jail. He claimed his beloved daughter had already been attacked both verbally and physically by the endless list of R. Kelly fans who were clearly angry with her. When asked by the CBS presenter whether there is anything the parents think if they had done better raising their daughter would prevent this situation with R. Kelly, Pastor Charles, who doubles as her father, suggested they did their best but she made the wrong choices as an adult. He adds that he always taught his children how they may have to always face consequences for their decisions, but here he was hoping she would not have to face the consequences of her own actions. And indeed she had the power to make all the choices, for she was 19. When Faith Rogers was asked whether she was after the money as alleged by many onlookers, she was quick to tell CBS Mornings how all the other women who had dated R. Kelly had walked away with cars, bags, shoes and other benefits except her. What she did not realize is that this situation makes her more likely to be after money in form of restitutions, in order to compensate for what she did not manage to get from her relationship with R. Kelly. She goes on to say, when she was filing her case, and it was from years back, she was asked, "Why did you wait?" But yes indeed, fact being she was a 19-year-old adult of sound mind, she shouldn't have waited to file charges if she thought she had been abused by R. Kelly in any way. And this is where R. Kelly accusers become players of double standards when they want to hold him accountable for doing things as early as in his 20s and early 30s, yet they will not account for what they deliberately did when they were in the same age bracket. They chose to stay home and keep quiet, ignoring the alleged abuse instead of reporting the matters to the police, and now they want the whole world to believe their touching stories. All factors constant though when it comes to Faith Rogers' allegations, clearly even if she had chosen to report the matter to the authorities immediately, she was not going to succeed, considering there is no case in whatever took place between her and R. Kelly. These were two adults who agreed to get sexually intimate with each other, but when she realized an opportunity to extort the R&B king had presented itself on a silver platter, she decided to join in and make some quick money. Any other young woman would be tempted to do the same. In fact, her parents are not to blame, all because this did not happen to Faith Rogers when she was 17 or 16 like many other accusers claim. She was old and free to go out and make her own choices, and become R. Kelly's mistress is what she chose. According to Mauricio, there is a common answer these alleged victim parents give when they are asked whether they are after money. They all quickly begin to list their sources of revenue and claim to be living a very good life, forgetting that nothing stops a person with money from wanting a little bit more, especially when it's going to be paid in a lump sum. Having good jobs and property therefore cannot be an excuse to claim they were not after the money, whose distribution amongst themselves has already started. According to Ray Rock, this whole case against R. Kelly was based on opinions and not real facts. If the judge chose to imagine something could have happened, they claimed it happened, and likewise what they didn't want to happen. It was one word against the other, but for some reason, the judges and their jury counterparts chose to believe the women and not R. Kelly. How prejudicial. If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say. To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.